official meeting tonight. We're going to have an invocation and we're going to have the pledge. Reverend Knox Bullock's here from the Bible Church, Woodland Bible Church, better say the whole name, and we appreciate him coming. We invite ministers from all faiths, or anybody that would like to come and offer an invocation on behalf of the City Council, and whether or not you participate in the invocation will not have any bearing on the business that you've come here to do tonight. And if you would not like to participate in the invocation, you certainly don't have to. It is voluntary. So with that, I'd like to stand. I get to lead the pledge, John. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that you gave to us. Thank you for your blessings that you have bestowed upon all of us. Thank you, Lord, that we are citizens of the United States and residents here in Indiana, and that we live here in Connersville. Thank you for our city council and our mayor and their commitment that our city go forward. Thank you for all of the time and all they put into to helping our city. Give them wisdom as they make decisions tonight. Decisions we trust will be for the good of Connersville. Bless us together and help everything that we do to please you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Have a seat. Before we call the official meeting together tonight, I'd like to start an impeachment proceeding against David Job.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll say you need impeachment.
Is there a second?
You don't need an impeachment.
A second. I wanted to say April Fool all day today, and nobody ever gave me the opportunity. And we have not started the official meeting, so it's perfectly legal. And I tried to think who we should try to impeach, and I thought, well, the only one who'll just laugh it off will be David. I was thinking about starting it against myself, but I thought I'd get too many takes. But anyway, we'll call the meeting to order. Enough foolishness. First order of business will be roll call.
Councilwoman Risch.
Present.
Councilman Weber.
Present.
Councilman Schomel.
Present.
Councilman Nobby.
Here.
Councilwoman Montgomery.
Present.
Councilman Creech.
Present.
Councilwoman Stevens.
Present.
All are present. We have a quorum and we are able to do business. I'd ask you to turn your cell phones to the vibrate position or to off, whichever is easiest. And we will have the reading of the minutes of the last city council meeting.
I'm going to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we accept the minutes as they were sent out to the council people. Are any discussion? Any corrections? None appearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have Holly Dunn. It's our honor to have her tonight. She has a request, and she's going to come up and tell us all about it.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. I don't know if you guys have heard of Fuel. I know I've
Tell them who you are first. That's the most important thing.
Okay, well, I'm Holly Dunn, and I work as the freshman success coach at the Connersville High School for my job that pays lights. And then in my spare time, I do youth ministry that has kind of gone crazy in a good way. And essentially, we run 80 to 100 teenagers every Friday night. And so, who I am is somebody who landed in Connersville, and I don't think it's by accident. So thanks for having me here and at least share with you a little bit about what we do. And essentially we're working on a pretty significant project. And we are moving into the first floor of the CEC building, the big 6-story one. And we've done lots of fundraising and pretty much lots of things are in place for us to move in there. Looks like pretty quickly. We're working obviously on our permits and zoning and all that stuff. And it's all moving in the right direction. One of the things that came about that we didn't anticipate was a firewall. And so in order for us to, for all of our permits and all that, we'll have to have a 2-hour burn wall, which essentially ends up being 2 layers of 5/8 inch drywall. And we're using 5,000 square feet. So that's a pretty significant unexpected cost. And the good news is we are working closely with some like Lowe's and Menards and different places, and they're willing to give us materials at cost. And so with that said, it's going to cost $4,000 for us to do a burn wall for 2 hours between just the first floor and the second floor.
The ceiling is what you.
For the ceiling. And we'll put insulation above it. And I'm here tonight to ask to see if you guys would help us with that. And I also wanted to throw in another option. This is a need. The school approached me just 2 weeks ago to see if we would be willing to do a lunch program this summer. And ultimately, we would love to do programming year-round in that building, more in the summer. For this first summer, we just kind of needed a place to start. And so the school contacted, asked if we would be willing to do be a feeding spot and let them drop off the free lunches, and then we'll do programming. So essentially Monday through Friday, kids can come pick up a bag lunch, and we'll bring them in and do something. And so with that, we need tables and chairs for them to sit down and have a place to sit and eat. And those are more expensive than we expected as well. Each set is a set of 4 tables, 36 chairs is $14.99.99. Each Friday we run 100 kids. So to start off, we're gonna need 4 sets.
Would you explain what fuel is, Holly, for
Oh,
our
absolutely.
audience, folks that aren't familiar with it?
Sure. Fuel is, and I don't know how this is my first time ever being at one of these meetings. I have a book, and I'm willing to share that with you guys at whatever point. But fuel is, it's a little mixture of everything. We have kids that come in off the streets. It started with one homeless kid. I had one kid that didn't have a place to live, and we were starting this sort of youth group, in a way, is how we were starting it. And invited him, and he brought 19 friends with him. So the very first week we had 19 kids, and then within a couple months we were running 30, and now we're at our 4-year mark. We just hit our 4th birthday this month, and we're running 80 to 100. It started with my one homeless kid, so he brought a bunch of kids with him that were in a mess.
And what's the age range?
We've changed over time. Now we're 7th grade and up, and usually my above, like after they graduate high school, they're kind of put to work. They're going to be there. They help me out.
Good.
And so, fuel started as gasoline, like something to propel you to do more. What happened is I started inviting people to come in and speak on Friday nights, and after about 2 times, the youth pastor at Temple at the time, Richard Boyce, he came in and he said, I think fuel should stand for Friends Under Every Label, because we basically have a huge range of kids. We have kids from kind of pretty terrible situations that I know sometimes don't have water, don't have electricity, that came for the very first time to fuel because they didn't have anything to eat and they knew they were going to get food. All the way to kids that have 2-parent families that have everything that looks to be perfect, and they come in, I think, to serve. And essentially what I've experienced from my perspective of it, it's like a mission trip. You can't go on a mission trip and not be changed yourself. And so my kids that come to wipe tables and take out trash and help me end up being changed by it all at the same time. And they come every week. I have a little girl with me in the back. She's been with me texting today, just following up for an event that we're doing on Friday. We're taking 100 kids to Acquire the Fire, which is a youth conference in Muncie. And she's texting everybody saying, we're gonna pick you up here, we're gonna pick you up there. And just as we walked in, she said, Holly, my phone, I have 22 text messages already. How do you do it? So, I'm not above child labor. So she's down here. So what fuel is Friends Under Every Label. We meet, we hang out. We play cornhole, a hacky sack, we goof around. And then we have someone shares a testimony or shares a personal story, or someone will share, like the gospel. And then after we finish with that, like if it's not crazy late enough already, at around 10:30, 11 o'clock, we'll take them in the back and feed them a full meal. So every Friday, we start at 9 o'clock at night. I know that's a really random time. Again, it started because I had people who had a job. They didn't get off work until 8, and so that's how we chose the time. But I think what we found is that's when kids get in the most trouble. And so they hang out with us. We borrow vehicles from Calvary and Temple and Park Place Church of God, and we have people that will take them home. So they're not walking home or anything like that. We drop them off at their door, and they hang out with us until usually about midnight, sometimes a little bit later. So that's what Fuel is.
Okay, thanks for the explanation. Excellent.
And we've been around a while. It's not like we started last week. Like I said, this is our 4th year going into it right now. And it has grown every year. And from it, we've experienced like kids like Jay, and I mean, I feel like I can say that. This kid right here, I don't know if you guys remember him. He was the one that tooled around town with the long trench coat. He was.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I have great pictures of him in here. He, when I first met him, had quit school and was pretty much homeless. He was living from house to house, and today he has a high school diploma. He earned it the hard way because he didn't qualify for any waivers because of the days he'd missed and whatnot. So he has a high school diploma, and he comes every week. He's very faithful. I don't know that you see him tooling around very much. And
Not like I used to. I used to see him all the time. you
yeah,
know.
and he doesn't have an upside down cross on his back, which is kind of good. So we're having an impact. I mean, I know I have a stack of letters that we just wrote Friday, but I could show you if you wanted. That it's 30 or 40 kids took time to write a little note saying support us, but it's going to grow. I mean, it's going to grow. When we move into the new building and the new location, we're going to see more. And as we start having younger kids come in through the week, we'll know them. By the time they're teenagers, I'll have a relationship with them, before they hit that 13 age. But so any help you could offer would be great. Essentially, my first priority is the firewall. Can't do anything in there without a firewall. And that's $4,000. And then the tables and chairs, I get a better deal. So for example, we buy a set of table and chairs. That's 4 chairs, that's 36 tables. 36 chairs, 4 tables is $14,999. But if I get them all at the same time, so if I order 4 sets of those chairs and tables, he told me he would give me $600 off. So at whatever point we order them, I want to order as many as I can. Does that make sense? So if you guys were able to help me with all of it, which would be great, that would be $9,399. That's,
I like that kind of person. You start at the top and work down.
yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about Holly Dunn. I've served on some committees with her. I know her through my daughter and the high school. She's been responsible at the high school. Her title is
Freshman success coach.
and that's exactly what she does. When she has freshmen that are maybe not looking towards success, she steers them towards success. And on the different groups that I've run into her, it's like this. You can either pay it on welfare and jail fees later, or you can now help her keep these people. And I wouldn't have any idea with the numbers, but I know she's already changed the lives of many young people in this community, and she is very well respected among the staff at the high school. She's respected in groups. I think the Lions Club put $1,000 into your group. I can't name all the different things, but I've been out there with her, and I know what she's doing. She's telling them straight, and she doesn't get one penny for it other than what she makes at the school on her regular job to pay her own utilities and her own bills. But she's always got a kid or two tagging around behind her. And I know as it started, there were many kids in that group, and Jesse, you were there, that didn't get a hot meal or any kind of meal from Friday at noon at the school. until Monday at noon at the school. That has changed because a hot meal or a good food comes on Friday to anybody that wants it. We offered food in the park last year, and it was very difficult for us to do. We had a terrible time trying to get it done, get volunteers. And if she is going to do that, I wanted that moved down here because when we were serving in the park, these kids from down here can't get up there. And if it's down here where the kids need it and it's central,
Sure.
so I think that's a great thing, and I know that it'll work.
I think it will, and I think it'll be exciting to be able to have other adults, because I've got adults that I've spoken of every day of the week. that
Right,
are
and
gonna
you've got a
be
lot
there,
of
so-
supporters, I can't name them all, but you've got a lot of supporters and adult, good quality people that are really pushing. So, you've heard her request, I'd like you to discuss a little bit.
I'd like to go first. I disagree with the mayor. You said she helps every freshman. I don't think that's the case. I think she helps every student she comes in contact with.
That's her
I firmly believe that.
You can speak firsthand.
Oh, yeah, I see it. And I've seen a lot of impact from kids who are definitely have a rough road to hoe that go there every Friday, and boy, they're fired up about it. And I think it's a tremendous thing that could be just something great for our community, and I think it's something we need to support. I really do.
Who wants to be next? Don't be bashful, this is your council. Nancy.
I couldn't hear down here very well,
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
I understand what she's doing. And the money was 4,000 for the firewall,
Mm-hmm.
and then you mentioned 600 and then 9,000, is that correct?
No, the tables and chairs it's actually enough chairs for 100 people and enough tables for 100 people will be $53.99. So $5,399.
Mm-hmm.
And then the firewall was 4,000.
So we're talking 9,
Yeah,
Nine.
the total, 90, basically 94.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hate to agree with the mayor, but the mayor brought a point up. We can spend money for jails and so forth, or we can spend money to help them now before it gets that way. And after Gabe's comment, and I know Holly, I think we need to support if we can.
Next.
I'm 100% behind it. I think it's great. I don't know how you do it. It's a lot of energy it takes.
I stopped and bought caffeine tonight.
Oh, you did?
You know.
Well, yeah, I'm behind it.
Yeah, you seem very enthusiastic. Seem like you do a good job.
You know, I do it with a lot of people. I feel very like I'm the one getting the, but I mean, I couldn't do it without an army.
Name some of the people that help you, Holly.
Well, Jackie and Tim Bearclough have been with me since the beginning, almost. Jesse and Michelle Kelly were there the first night. Since then, I've grown Cindy and Warren Spears there every Friday night. I mean, countless churches and organizations have gotten, really, as we've moving into that building in just a very short amount of time, people who have skills that, you know, like that can, you know, Clairol that works for Hartzell, he's done all of our drawings and all the architecture stuff, all of that stuff just out of his own goodwill. And I just can't even, I'm a no that I will forget people. But I mean, this has really had a lot of support, this is not just me. I think I've hit you up for toothbrushes before. You probably didn't know who I was.
Sure it did.
But I mean, like, you know, lots of people at different times has helped.
She doesn't always have a broken arm, but she always has a smile.
That's actually a fuel thing, isn't it?
This was a field thing. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Goofy. I was just goofing around.
You don't have to answer to him. Debbie, did you have anything you'd like to say, Debbie?
I'm all for it, anything for the kids is good. I was wondering where we are going to find the money.
Well, it's no problem because we just turned to the clerk treasurer.
Oh, let me get my secret stash out.
Get the magic money bag out.
Yeah.
The magic money bag.
I'd say just take it from the riverboat would be nice.
We have 113,000, almost 114,000 in it right now.
Yeah, but
A lot of that's
a
obligated.
lot of that's
Yes.
obligated, yeah. But there's still probably 60,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's your council, how much you want me to advertise for?
I move that we
We'll have to take
advertise.
it to an advertisement in a public hearing, that's the law.
I move we advertise for $9,399.
Second.
I got a
Good
motion on the
job,
floor that we are able to advertise for $9,399 to
Correct.
go to fuel to give it a big kick. Any further discussion?
Kids.
The motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Anybody out there that'd like to say anything? Okay. Giving permission to advertise for a public hearing for the next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That don't mean you get the money,
Okay.
but it means that at the next council meeting, we will have a public meeting. You need to have some of your people here to talk for it, show up for it, and have that beautiful smile.
And if your other arm's broken, I'm sure you'll get it.
Which is what I said, you don't have to pay attention.
Thank you so very much.
And it's important that you come back with some of your people next time, because that's, we'll have the public hearing, and they will then vote on the money.
Okay,
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay.
And if any of you
Thank
want
you.
to see this after, or at any
It's
point,
pretty
just
cool if you guys
let me
haven't
know.
seen it.
I'll leave it with Gary.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
To affirm everything she said, if you would take 5 minutes each of you and read just a few of what some of the students and people involved have said, it will confirm everything she said.
We have pending ordinance 3007. It's an additional appropriation, $15,000. The fingerprint machine for the police department, and this is a public hearing on that issue. I open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on behalf or against it?
Jackie?
Is she for it or against it?
Jackie for it, against it?
Yeah, I said this is a public hearing, for or against, either one.
We're for it, by this law, it's, I'm,
Well, you better let Jackie speak, you'll come closer to getting it.
I agree.
I'm good. Sit down, Dave.
The only thing that's changed on it, the sheriff called me after we came to the first meeting, said that they were getting the state was getting so bombarded with emails from the sheriffs because other departments can't afford it either. And the only thing they've done is backed it up from May 1st to July 1st that we have to have it by. So it's not
Big help, aren't they, 2 months?
real big help. Yeah, because Billy said there's one department, people have to drive, it's either 90 miles or 90 minutes to get to the closest place that's paperless. So it's gonna
is
hinder
the
a
sheriff's
lot of
department gonna have one here, and we're gonna have one both? That'll be the
They've
one.
still got theirs. I
They
mean,
already have
They
one.
have theirs, but they only use it for people that are incarcerated because of the liability if they take the public back there. So we're looking at bringing them over here and us doing it for them and charging them.
This is again for gun permits, right?
Yes.
You might explain that, what's going on here.
Just that, right now we do what they call paper prints, black and white, roll the prints, and they're wanting them done paperless. And we did check to upload them to IDAX, we have to have a dedicated IDAX line. Well, 911 already has a dedicated IDAX line, and Terry has checked, and we can just link in to their 911, their IDAX line. So we won't have to go through the huge expense of getting a dedicated line for
It
us.
still takes 15,000 to get the equipment.
Still takes 15,000 to get the machine, but the dedicated line would have been just as expensive if we didn't have one in the building. Wason said his, I think he pays like four something a month for his line, but with 911, they don't pay that much for it.
We've also looked back there in her office, if you remember when we rebuilt the police department, it's plenty big where we got all the
Yeah.
files. And I think what we intend to do is move the files a little bit to the west and put up kind of a single partition there where it'll be private, so when people come in to be fingerprinted, they can't look at everything else in the room.
Is there a fee of $5 presently for city residents?
No, right now, there's no fee for
Okay.
printing because with the paperless, state provides us the fingerprint cards. All we have to buy is the fingerprint
Mr.
thing
Baker, I believe,
itself.
excuse me, I believe where there was a report that I saw, we were going to have a fee of $5 for city people and $10 for county residents.
That's what in the paperwork I sent with you
Right,
guys.
yes.
And I talked to Julie about it before we even considered that, to find out what we'd have to do that. So if we do it, she said, write up an ordinance. And then, like I said, for the county people, charge them 10, and the city people charge them 5. And that would pretty much at least help re-encumber
Yes.
some of the.
Can we do that,
recoup some
Mr.
of the
Baker?
Oh,
costs.
sure,
Two
we can
different
put an
rates.
ordinance, I would just need to talk to Jackie about some of the details.
Okay, we can't have two different rates then for, depending on where they live?
Yes.
Okay,
Because we also right now print for, a lot of people are going to the Utah gun permit. It's the Utah non-residential. What that does, once you get your Indiana state gun permit, they'll give you a Utah non-resident gun permit. Right now, there's 28 states that recognize Indiana's gun permit. If you get the Utah non-resident, it bumps it up to 35. Because you can carry in Ohio with the Utah, but you can't with an Indiana.
okay.
So we could charge on that as well.
So, and we'll have people from other counties coming in. to
Yeah,
print
because
too.
Rush County only has the company that is getting that we have to get the machine through. They have people come in, and it's only one day a week. It's on Fridays from 2 to 5. So anybody here who wanted to do that could make an appointment over there. So like I said, it's 2 to 5. And it's a half-hour drive over there, and I think they charge them, it's either 12 or 20 bucks to print them over there. And that's only a 3-hour window every Friday. And with it
Thank you.
here,
Yeah.
I can do it from 8:30 to 4:30. And Dave can do it when I'm on vacation.
You think he's capable of doing
I'm trying to teach you, you probably can. If I stand behind the whip and crack him when he messes up.
You can only delegate to someone else.
Hey, Jack, if you'd stay in here just a minute, have a seat. Did you want to say anything else?
No, she did a fine job. I'll bring you back in with me again.
Jackie, I'll need you to email me the pertinent information so I can put something together,
Okay.
ordinance form, all right?
We're still under a public hearing, and is there anybody else who would like to speak on this issue at all? Anybody? Not appearing, we'll close the public hearing, and we'll open it up to the city council to discuss and make a decision. Questions, council?
I think it's a decision, it's a mandate thing, so I don't know where discussion will take us. Yes,
I'll make a motion that we accept pending ordinance 3007.
Second.
Okay, we have an ordinance on the floor to pass pending ordinance 3007, taking $15,000 in an additional appropriation for police equipment, a electronic fingerprint machine. Didn't I have a second?
Yeah. Debbie
Nancy?
second.
Debbie, okay. Any other discussion, further discussion? None appearing, we'll have a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Rish?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes.
Councilman Shomel?
yes.
Councilman Nobby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery?
Yes.
Councilman Creech?
Yes.
Councilwoman Stevens?
Yes.
We have passed it unanimously on first reading. Would you like to suspend the rules and go directly to third and final?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor to suspend the rules and consider pending ordinance 3007 on third and final reading. On suspension of rules only, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? We may move forward.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to consider pending ordinance 3007, transferring $15,000 from the general fund to the police department for a fingerprint machine, equipment, electronic. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have a like ordinance, pending ordinance 3008. You don't have to leave so abruptly. We have a like ordinance 3008. This is for radios for the fire department, $6,300. This is to go to narrowband. I need to have a public hearing on that, so we'll open the public hearing, and the fire chief will come forth and explain why we have to do it.
Well,
Or maybe you're against it now, I'm not sure.
again, it's mandated. We decided to go with these radios because Richmond is using them, and had a few Kenwoods, and that's what we prefer to use. We let Richmond install them in their trucks and get their David Clark systems all lined out, their headsets, so we didn't end up paying to have all them bugs worked out, so we're ready to go forward with it.
There's 7, are there, Troy?
Yeah.
There's 7 radios.
Troy, Were you arm wrestling with that lady?
Yeah, she won. Mine's an elbow issue. Actually, I hit the door frame.
All right.
Okay, anybody out there would like to speak in favor or against? None appearing, we'll close the public hearing, and we'll give it to the council.
This again is an additional appropriation.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not from Riverboat or anything?
No, it's additional
General
appropriation,
fund.
general fund.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes,
would you accept a motion?
I will.
I would like to make a motion that we pass pending ordinance 3008.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to pass pending ordinance 3008, taking $6,300 from the general fund, paid in the fire department for narrowband radio equipment, $6,300. Any further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote.
Councilman Weber,
Yes.
Councilman Shomel.
Yes.
Councilman Nobby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Creech. Councilwoman Stevens.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rish.
Yes.
You have passed that unanimously. Would you like to suspend the rules and consider it on third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules so we can consider pending ordinance 3008 on third and final reading. All in favor of suspension of rules, only say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We can move forward.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay. We have a motion on the floor to consider pending ordinance 3008 on third and final reading, putting $6,300 into the fire department equipment fund to buy narrowband radios. Any discussion? None appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That's over with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me say something. In just a few minutes, we're going to read a proclamation. By the way, I don't have it in here. I'd like for you to stay for that. It affects you. Pending ordinance 3009, this is an ordinance transferring the motor vehicle fund. We are asking to put another DR trimmer on the road. Last year, if you remember over the years, we've had a tremendous problem trying to keep the yards cut because we have to let them grow up to 8 inches. And then by that time, we can't cut them with a regular lawnmower. We've tried to bush hog them, we've weed whacked them. We bought a DR trimmer and we found out that we could send a crew of 2 out on that, sometimes 3 and 1 raking. And we could wipe out maybe 6 yards a day by having that DR trimmer. We were very successful. I talked with Phil, talked with our street superintendent, and we decided that we need to put another one on. Julie asked me today, how do you know that we're going to have so much grass? Well, David tells me we have over 50 homes that are empty and vacant, and I know they're probably not going to be mowed. I also know that this is the bicentennial year, and we're going to want to keep mowing up as best we can to make it look nice. And we certainly can't do it with 1 crew and 1 machine. It was difficult last year, and if you remember, the grass quit growing about the middle of June and never grew again until September. I don't think that's going to happen 2 years in a row because it didn't get warm in March, and that's what I'm basing it on. I froze this entire March, so it's a different year. I'd like for you to consider that. Have we had a public hearing on that?
We don't have to.
We don't have
Transfer.
to. It's a transfer, I'm sorry, okay.
Do we have a crew to run this?
We will hire college kids,
Part-time.
high school kids to run it. Last year, we put them on and it worked excellent, we had no problem. It's a pretty safe machine. Tom, you saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, if I may?
Yeah, go ahead.
With what I say we, the street department, trying to do, we're using a residential lawnmowers where we need something commercial. This doesn't work. I think this is a real good idea. That's all.
The other one's in great shape and there won't be any problem. We'll run 2 crews with it. We'll have 2 trailers, 2 crews, 2 trucks. We can pretty much keep up with the houses as fast as we get them. I'm ready for a motion or whatever you'd like to do on that. Item D, then pending ordinance 3009.
I'll make the motion that we pass pending ordinance 3009 on the first reading.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to pass pending ordinance 3009 on first reading. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Would you like to suspend the rules and move forward?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules so that we can consider pending ordinance 3009 on third and final reading, putting $3,500 into, from materials into other equipment, basically to buy a DR trimmer. Any further discussion on suspension of rules? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? What's your pleasure? Or am I one behind?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Third reading.
I move to accept pending ordinance 3009 on third and final reading.
Second.
Hang on a second. Okay. Considering pending ordinance 3009 on third and final reading, we would transfer from materials into other equipment, $3,500. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public forum, anybody? I don't see much public here. I mean, you guys are all public, but. Okay. Phil? No, Dale. I didn't know you were taking it there, Dale, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's happened here is, our advanced paramedics have again been mandated to go to higher education in order to keep their classification. And you've got a little sheet in front of you here telling them what's going to cost the city to send those people up there. $4,809, so basically $5,000, $4,200 for class, books, 504, and $100 for tests. We're sending 7 people. Now basically, when Dale told me that, I thought, well, that's not a big deal. That's nice education, advanced paramedics. But then he told me the rest of the story. The rest of the story is that he's going to be short 8 hours every Thursday. 7 people are going to be going to school. So we're going to have to pay time and a half, and we're going to have to pay overtime. And then he told me the rest of the story, that he understands it's a very difficult course and a very difficult test, and that some people may not pass the test. If they don't pass the test, they can't work as an advanced paramedic, and they lose $2,200 of their income for a year. Not only that, I think all of you feel like I do. We want the best that we can get on that ambulance, so we want advanced paramedics. And so they'll tell them the difference between a paramedic and an advanced paramedic.
Well, it's, we have advanced EMTs and advanced, and then paramedics.
Excuse me, EMT is what I was talking
And
about.
the advanced EMTs, right now, we can use manual defibrillators, monitors, we can start IVs, we can do deck sticks, and the paramedic, they're the ones that give the cardiac drugs, the breathing treatments, and pacing with the monitors. It's just, you start out as a basic EMT, go to advanced EMT, and into a paramedic. This is bringing the advanced EMT just up a little higher, not to the paramedic level, but up a notch or two, is what this will do. And this is mandated by the state. We have to be done by January 14th.
So this is mandated also?
Yeah. If we don't send them to the school, like myself, if I don't go, or if I don't pass, I drop down to just a basic EMT. And the state will give you a second choice, unless you want to go back and go through the whole course again.
So you have to
Oh, I'm
take
sorry,
test,
go ahead,
well, no,
No.
you only get to take the test once,
Yes.
and you can take it again, but you have to take the course again.
You have to take a complete, after January 14, we will have to take a complete course. And it's 5 semesters, equal to almost 5 semesters through IB Tech.
It's a one-time check. Now, here's what the Board of Works did this afternoon. They said that if you approve the money tonight, the city would pay the $4,200. We would handle the overtime and go through the procedure. But each one that went through this class had to stay and work for the city. If they didn't stay and work for the city 3 years, they had to reimburse the city for their education, because everybody that has an education is paid for their own. You know, unless it's a specialty thing. Also, that if you retired, of course you didn't have to pay for education, you just retired, because there may be a couple of guys that retired during that 3 years. They also kind of made an agreement that if you didn't pass the test, and you had to go back and take that big long course he's talking about, the city would not be responsible. Now, that's what the Board of Works did. So what the Board of Works asked is for Dale to come here and get you to appropriate the $5,000 so we can go ahead and get started. We really need to get started right away, get the names in. And I think that's fair, and we're open for discussion on that issue now.
Well, my question was gonna be there on the cost. First of all, I had no problem with this, but to make sure you won't have to come back again, the books will not go up, nor the test fee will not go up.
The test fee, it's set, the books, the only way it can go up is we have went through a book company, I can't think of the name right now. They have given us a break in the cost of the books.
Okay.
And as long as we get our names in on the number of books and everything, we should be okay at that price.
Julie, would it be best we just like round it off to 5,000 in case it went up $11 or $12 or something, so we're gonna have to come back again?
We can do that. Dale and I kind of looked over his budget. He's got some money and instructions that we.
Well, however you wanna
could
do it,
use.
just find
We
it.
thought if we did 3,500 for an additional, he has 1,500 in his budget that he can use.
If that's what you want, that would be fine. And I like
I
that.
think we can do that for now. If something comes up later and he needs more for something else, we can look at that as a process.
Okay, yeah.
Does everybody understand where we are? With that, I would take a motion that you give us permission to advertise for a public hearing to take the 36, is that what you said? 3,500 from the general fund.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Is there a second on that? Okay. We have a motion on the floor to have a public hearing at the next meeting to take $3,500 from the general fund and put it into education over at the first aid unit to send 7 people to this advanced EMT school. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, so we'll take that to public hearing next time.
Thank you.
Dale,
Thank
stay
you.
there a minute. I'm working with Dale real hard. We're running how many over there, Dale, 10?
11.
We're running 11 and we're running part-time people. And Dale and I have been going back and forth. Really, in order to have full staff, we need to hire 3 people over there. And we don't have a budget for that. Denver Markham is retiring. In fact, we extended his medical leave 30 days today at the Board of Works, and he would retire what day, Julie?
April 30th.
April 30th. I want you to kind of keep in your mind, it's a Board of Works decision, but we're going to have the money. We have 2 excellent part-time people, and Dale is now working hard to determine, is it better to put those 2 people on full-time, or is it better to keep them on part-time without benefits? I don't want to make this decision until Denver retires. But he'll work on that, and he's going to bring a recommendation back to us. Now, these 7 that we okayed tonight, 2 of them are those 2 people, because they are now working for us part-time, so we'd send them to school. So we would get a full benefit from them after we send them to school. And we could hire them, I suppose, saying that they had to pass the test or they wouldn't hire them. We have a right to do that, right?
Yep.
But it's something I want you to kind of keep in your mind. We're trying to run that the best we can. Of course, we funded half from the county and city. But he's going to give us those figures probably in 2 weeks.
Should have.
Okay, pretty close.
Yep.
While you're up here, you heard anything on the grant for the ambulance?
We're still in the running. As of Thursday, we're still in the running.
Which is
So-
good.
know.
We haven't heard, because a lot of them's been turned down.
Yeah,
That's good, that's.
They started releasing the rejection letters about a month ago, and so far we haven't been rejected.
Every day I look at him coming in the door.
And we do have the air systems that we're putting in the exhaust system. Part of it's has been completed, the phase 1 of it's completed, and I'm hoping probably next week they'll start on the second phase of it. So hopefully within about 2 more weeks, we should be close to being done if everything stays on track. So,
Thank you, Dale.
thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Anything under old business? We gotta take the street superintendent. As you know, I made a big mistake again. You can impeach me next April. When we ordered those toters, Julie and I just kinda sat down and we ordered the toters and we ordered 50 small ones, thinking everybody. We ordered 100, yeah. Darn. And thinking everybody'd want a big one, everybody's paying $10, they'd want the biggest one. Well, we got fooled. We got 47 people on the list wanting small ones. So we're proposing to you to buy 100 small ones. That's the price break, the closest we can get at $59.96 a piece. Will cost $5,996. I guess we have to do an additional to do it.
Is that what you'd like to do, Julie, is additional?
We have to, we haven't done the money.
We have money in there, but we'll have to put it back later if we don't do it.
Okay.
If we don't do an additional now, we'll have to do an additional
Well, I
later.
remember when we first talked about this on the numbers of toters and so forth, it was kind of a shot in the dark, and we have to do this. I mean, we just.
Well, what if we did this though, if we just go ahead and take it out of the budget now, we can go ahead and get it done, get them ordered. We're gonna be 2 weeks behind.
Well, however she wants to do it.
We've got money appropriated in DOT to make our payment on the trash truck. And there's money there. We don't make that payment until November. We could go ahead and use that money and pay for these now.
Is that what you want to do?
It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, we got these 47 people wanting them.
And we need to get.
That would speed up the process
Yeah,
a little bit.
let's do that. I mean, we need to get, like I
Later
said,
in the year.
this was all a guesstimate when we got started, and we knew this. So I think that's what we need to do.
How many of the big ones got laying around?
I'm sorry?
How many of the big ones got laying around?
There's a couple of those. There's several of those.
We've been pretty lucky so far because we really haven't had to replace hardly anything.
Well, the sun right hit yet.
That's true.
We're losing about one a week.
Are we?
Losing?
Yeah, they're just gone.
Really?
People call in and their totes are gone. They filled it yesterday and they went out this morning, it was gone. And we've had 3 run over by big something and others, just rolled them up like a ball. And those are pretty tough
I can't
containers.
imagine stealing a tote full of trash. I'd wait till it was empty.
Are those guaranteed?
Well, I've got them, yeah, I need to talk
You need to talk to Charles
Charles
and see
about
if
it.
he'll replace, because those are supposed to be guaranteed,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Warranty for 10 years, I believe.
You know, it's things like we get into the auction house up on the, over there by us, they had taken 2 of them and we found one of the 2. And it was all upside down, they'd
When you
gone
find
through it.
one where it's not supposed to be, you need to call the guys with the gold badges.
Well, Dave, didn't we have a situation where it was real windy and one blew all the way over to Liberty?
It's all wheels.
I think it did.
I think I remember the address.
Nevertheless, if you all understand, we'll just go ahead and order these and we'll put this on the burner to have an additional appropriation later on in the year. Is that
I think
okay?
we need to do that.
Yeah, the thing with getting just 50 is setting up the die and so forth to put Connersville seal on it and all that, so you really don't get a break until you do this 100 pieces.
I think this will take us for a long time.
Well,
I do
since
too.
we have 50 people waiting to get them,
Right.
it really doesn't give us much reserve back on them.
So that, go ahead and order your toters.
Okay, that'll make a lot of folks happy.
That doesn't have to go to the Board of Works because we already
We
did
already
that
did it
today.
at the board
Okay.
works today.
Go ahead and order your
Okay,
toters.
thank you.
Thank you, David.
Okay, I have a proclamation. I couldn't help but think of you when they sent this to me. Just this last week, he went to see his son, who was deployed to Afghanistan.
Going to Spain, they're gonna be going into northern Africa.
This is a proclamation from the mayor's office. Whereas thousands of brave Americans have demonstrated their courage and commitment to freedom by serving the armed forces of the United States in active duty post-Afghanistan, Iraq, and around the world, and whereas more than 21,000 Indiana's children and youth have been affected by the military deployment of at least one parent, and whereas these children and youth are a source of pride and honor to us all, and it is only fitting that we take time to recognize their contributions, celebrate their spirit, and let our men and women in uniform know while they are taking care of us, we are taking care of their children and youth. And whereas the recognition of the month of the military child will allow us to pay tribute to military children and youth for their commitment, their struggles, and their unconditional support for the troops. Because when parents serve in the military, their kids are heroes too. And whereas a month-long salute to military children and youth will encourage local community support to provide direct support to military children and families. And now therefore I, Leonard E. Urban, Mayor of the City of Connersville, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2013 as the month of the military child. And I do hereby urge all citizens, businesses, and government leaders to observe the month with appropriate ceremonies and activities that honor, support, and thank military children. In testimony whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Connersville on this first day of April 2013. Leonard E. Urban, Mayor of the City of Connersville. Julie A. Greason, City Clerk Treasurer. Maybe over this month we could tie a yellow ribbon on a tree, or maybe we could do something appropriate, but I guess you don't think about it until the fire chief called me one night and said he was leaving because his son was going. Children in his family are affected. Their cousin, their nieces, their brothers or sisters are away. We think about what it might do to mom and dad, but we don't think what it does to a brother or sister worrying about the other one. So I think that was appropriate that they made this month of April that. Thank you for listening, and if you can come up with a little something, maybe you can wear a little gold ribbon or do something. Miscellaneous business. Nancy, start with you.
No.
Tom.
I'm good, thank you.
Debbie.
I'm good.
Gabe.
Fantastically
How are
well.
the plants doing?
They're doing very well.
Don't put them out yet, right?
No, not yet. Not yet.
When is spring,
Well,
Gabe?
well, not for a while.
They said it might be Saturday,
I know, it's pretty Saturday. It's starting to get
When's it gonna be Saturday?
next Tuesday.
It's starting to get close to nicer. So we'll see.
Hold him to that, will you? Okay. Fran, you got anything?
No, the soil's 40 degrees, so Gabe is right.
Yeah, not yet.
No.
Unless you want to buy new ones, I mean.
Not more. Dr. Weber,
I have nothing.
you look springy.
Thank you. I bought some artificial flowers to put in my yard.
Supposed to buy artificial, supposed to buy live.
Well,
From the
I
greenhouse,
know you're
but
supposed to, but now that I'm by myself and I don't want to mess with it, they look very pretty all the time.
Who's gonna water for you?
I have a sprinkler system.
At the record show. Connie?
I'm wonderful. Nothing.
You have anything to share with the team?
And he's my newest.
Scary. It is scary.
Come borrow your pen.
Did I miss something down here? Request for additional appropriation to advertise small toolers. I got that, advanced EMT training. I did that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, but I didn't do this. We are invited, an invitation to Fayette Regional Reception and Press Conference on April 2nd at 4 p.m. That's tomorrow, because this is April Fool's Day, tomorrow.
Big deal.
At 4 p.m., if you can go to the hospital, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Tell us about it. You on
Well,
board?
yeah, but I'm part of it.
Well, if it's a big deal, oh, I know what it is.
Yeah, it's the FFA is part of it, and it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's about all I can say.
It's a big deal. Really big deal. It's a really big deal.
Awesome thing.
Okay, so it's a press conference and an invitation to be there at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And I think I'm allowed to tell you that the former Marsh store, which was on the north end of the old shopping center opposite of Walmart, has been rented, and we will be having a Tractor Supply in there.
That's great.
Will you be patrolling the area?
It's a done deal. Okay.
Good.
Anything that I missed? Did I forget anything? We invited anyplace else?
Did you announce that Carmen's coming back into the picture?
No, Carbon has closed their doors and give up their lease as of today. Okay? And as of midnight tonight, the sale on the steel building has not been completed, so the building is up for sale again. The Board of Works kind of indicated to the people that were wanting to buy it, that if they came back in a month or 6 weeks and they still had the same deal, and they wanted to give us the $4 million, that they would consider it. And you would consider it, because you would have to do that too. But that's about all I really.
I want to remind everybody to mark their calendars for April 20th's chicken dinner fundraiser.
Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, talk about it.
Well, that's, I already did.
But
Don't
what
have
is-
to mark our calendar, we got tickets.
I know, we have tickets to sell, so if you
Let's have a-
want to buy some, get a hold of somebody.
Get a hold of me.
Are we gonna get a advertisement in the paper, maybe? You think?
Well, it looked like our press, as good as we are to them, they would be talking about it every day in the radio and the paper.
Just not allowed to do it every day.
Why not?
Becomes old news. People tune out.
Could be a public service announcement.
Yeah,
Just
public
say it.
I'm sure we're running. If anybody listens. Have you listened, Gabe?
I don't listen to radio very much.
Case,
I don't listen to radio much.
Well, so much for the press. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.